All right, seventh graders. In class, the last couple of weeks, we've been working on what are called analogies. And an analogy is a series of two pairs of words that have a similar relationship. So, and it's read like this. Dog is to cat as up is to down. And what is the relationship of those words? Well, dogs and cats we think of as opposites. Up and down are opposites. So we're looking at what is the relationship of the two words in the first pair, and then you have to repeat that same relationship in the second pair. So we're going to be using some of the vocabulary from Chip's speech to really start building an understanding of relationships between words, synonyms, antonyms, examples, the things that I ask you to look for in your vocabulary notebook assignments each week. So this is what an analogy looks like. In most analogies, you're going to see a word pair, and you're going to need to study that word pair and figure out what is the relationship between the two words. So we have, and it's read like this: self is to ego as handcuffs is to blank. So when I look at the words self and ego, I need to look at those two words and figure out what the pattern is, or what is the relationship. And having read Chip's speech, and we've talked about it, I noticed that self and ego are synonyms. So from Chip's speech, we have the word handcuffs. Well, what word from Chip's speech is a synonym? Because that's the relationship we're looking at. What is the synonym for handcuffs? And from Chip's speech, he talks about shackles. So in this analogy, we have two word pairs that are synonyms. Self is to ego as handcuffs is to shackles. In this next word pair, we have mean girls is to conformity as getting voted off the island in Survivor is to a mystery word from Chip's speech. So let's look at the first set of word pairs. We have Mean Girls, the movie. We wear pink on Wednesdays. You can't sit with us. Mean Girls is to conformity. Well, if I look up conformity in the thesaurus, Mean Girls is not a synonym. It's not the definition. It's not an antonym. So when I think about all of the elements of your vocabulary notebook template, Mean Girls is an example. So the movie Mean Girls is an example of conformity. So therefore, getting voted off the island in Survivor needs to be an example of one of the words from Chip's speech. So when I look at our list, getting voted off the island in Survivor means being kicked out, being excluded. So from Chip's speech, that means ostracism. So in this analogy, Mean Girls is to conformity as getting voted off the island in Survivor is to ostracism. We take two words from Chip's speech and we're finding examples of those two words. In our last pair, we have sincerity is to lie. So that's the word pair that I have to study, and I have to look for the relationship. So sincerity, I know, means truth or honesty. Well, if sincerity means truth and honesty, and it's paired with lie, well, lie is the opposite of truth. So this word pair has to be an antonym. Therefore, the second word pair needs to be antonyms as well. So for this assignment, we're looking at sincerity is to lie as uncertainty is to certainty, because uncertainty is one of Chip's words. So an analogy is when you're given two sets of word pairs that share the same relationship. And it's really important when you're working on analogies, you have to figure out what is the relationship, because that relationship has to be the same for both word pairs. So on the next slide, we're going to take a look at a few more. So in this set of analogies, we're really looking at parts of speech. And how do I know that? Well, I notice the word noun, noun, and noun. So what we need to think about is what is the relationship between the word and the part of speech and the word and the part of speech. So if I'm looking at my pairs, ego is the word. Oh, hang on a second. Ego is my word. The next part of my pair is the part of speech. So batten is my word. And I have to think about, well, what is the part of speech? How is batten used? So ego is an idea. So word is to noun as batten. Well, batten down the hatches. It's something I can do. Therefore, batten is a verb. But it follows the same relationship. Word, part of speech. So this analogy, our relationships are word with its part of speech, word with its part of speech. In the next one, you'll notice that we have some bold-faced suffixes. And what you'll find is suffixes almost always tell you the type, the part of speech of a word. So when we look at the words conformity and uncertainty, they both end in ity or ty. Now, if it tells you that conformity is a noun, so then that's the word, and I'm just going to use POS for part of speech. This is the word. Since they both share the same suffix, I can conclude that uncertainty is also a noun. So, oops, I misspelled that. Is a noun. In the next one, stoicism, you'll see that it ends in ISN, M, and ostracism also ends in ISM. So if stoicism is a noun, then we can also conclude that ostracism must be a noun. So in these three analogies, the first part of the relationship, we have the word from Chip's speech. The second word in the pair tells you it's part of speech. So ego is to noun as batten is to verb. Conformity is to noun as uncertainty is to noun. And that seems pretty simple, but what we're really focusing on is the suffix. Stoicism is to noun as ostracism is to noun, and they also share the same same suffix. So what we're going to be doing after you watch this video is you're going to practice some of the analogies. There'll be a worksheet attached, and that's something that I want you to hand in. So good luck.